What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at the S&P 500 today. The old faithful. If you're ever trying to make good money in the market and not have to do anything, just dollar cost average, never have to look at anything ever again, this is the way to go. Bulletproof way to make money. Obviously, the returns aren't going to be as large, but they're still decent enough. As you can see, we had a nice drop down and we spiked right back up very quickly. Very short-lived V-shaped recovery, right back to where we were all the way back in December and November. Really just range bound when you think about it. We're stuck in between this range here, between about 61.50 and around 57.48. Just trending sideways, building up momentum. I do see us breaking towards the upside relatively soon, but I do think once we break above here and get a bounce, we will have a little bit of resistance here at this upward sloping trend line that we've been respecting since about January 2024, and we've broken that back in February 2025. So I do think we can get back above it and continue the trend to the upside, and this was just going to be a slight deviation. But when you zoom out on the S&P 500, this thing is always trending upward. So this is the S&P 500 cash index. So it is shorter on the time frame. But in general, the S&P 500 trends upward until it gets a reason not to, like the 2022 market, bear market, 2020, COVID, stuff like that. But here on the monthly, you can see it, the SMAs, we got a bounce off the 20. We almost made it to the 50, and we shot right back up on the monthly, the 20-month. That's a very strong, very, very strong level. So usually when we break below that, we don't really fall underneath that for too long. It'll maybe go down for a month, and then you can see the following months, usually it already recovers. So 2022 is a little bit drawn out. But as soon as we broke back above it, you can see the bull trend started almost immediately. So seeing that we're well established above this goes to show that the bull market is in full speed right now. And here on the weekly, our 20 did just fall underneath the 50, but that doesn't mean that we can't curl back upward. Usually when you get your 20 pushing above the 50, you get a nice move to the upside. As you can see here, we got that cross, and we just have been trending upward. So we did pull back underneath it, but this can be short-lived, like I said. And on the daily, we are hugging the 20-day right now, and we got a bounce off of our 200. So that's super bullish, the 20 crossing the 200. And with global liquidity being pumped into the market, I do see the S&P 500 continuously going up, because the more money that's flowing through the entire global economy, the more money is going to come to the S&P 500, the top 500 companies in the U.S. People are going to be putting money from other countries, China, Japan, you name it. Everybody wants to put their money into the U.S. stock market. We have the best stock market. So money is always going to be flowing into these companies that are in the top 500 companies. And when you take a look at the EMA, we fell underneath it here on the weekly. But most importantly, you can see here on the monthly, we're holding above that. So that's super important to hold that 8 EMA on the monthly, and it's a very bullish sign. On the monthly RSI, we're creating higher highs and higher lows, looking pretty good. We are pushing our way up to the yellow moving average. Once we break above that, I can see us getting to the overbought territory for a little bit of time. We don't spend too much time above it, but if you get a very overheated market, it can stay irrational for longer than we could really imagine. So we'll see where things take us. That's on the monthly though. Here on the weekly, you can see we got an inverse head and shoulders. It played out pretty well. Nice V-shaped recovery, and we're well above our yellow moving average and above our 50, the midpoint. So let's see if we make it to 70 and that overbought area and continue pushing up higher. And on the daily, we have fallen underneath our yellow moving average, but it really does look like a nice bull flag that's being played out here on the RSI. You can see that flagpole and then your flag being pulled out. So if we break back above 69.27, I can see us going much higher on the RSI and potentially getting some strength that can induce a rally on the S&P 500. And on the weekly, you can see on the MACD, this looks very good, getting momentum to the upside. You can see that steady increase on the green. You got the blue flipping the orange back into bullish territory. That is textbook. And here on the daily, we're still in bullish territory, but we were getting a little bit of bearish volume, but holding the bullish territory. So we could get a blue flip back above the orange and get the red to flip back to green and continue this move even higher. And on this channel, we talk about golden zones a lot. They're key levels when we're looking for retracements of areas of support. And this played out perfect, textbook. So we were overextended on the S&P 500. We knew that when we were up at this level. I mean, you're talking about from practically October 2023 to February 2025. It's just been nothing but going up. So we were expecting some kind of pullback. We weren't expecting a sharp drop like that, of course, but we were expecting some kind of little reset. And that pullback landed right at the 0.5 of the 618. Perfect bounce off of it, pushed right back off. And now we're back above the 236 and almost about to break all-time highs again. So this is actually pretty insane. The golden zone played out like a perfect trampoline bounce, and price just absolutely rocketed off of that level. So that's a beautiful sign. I think it's looking very bullish as long as the economy stays well, you know, with the unemployment rate, even if it's ticking up, but it's still in a stable manner and it's not spiking. I think we can still continue to rally. We'll climb the wall of worry. Everybody expecting a recession. When everybody's expecting a recession or something crazy to happen, that's usually when it doesn't happen. When everything looks like the coast is clear, that's when something crazy happens. So if inflation continues to cool or trend sideways, I think this thing can continue going up. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you think. Like and subscribe, share with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next one.